You've heard of it, haven't you? The legend of Sparta? When I was young, my father would tell me stories about it. Long ago, in ancient times, a demon rebelled against his own kind for the sake of the human race. With his sword, he shut the portal to the demonic realm and sealed the evil entities off from our human world. But since he was a demon himself, his power was also trapped on the other side. I never believed it. I thought it was just a child's fairy tale. But I discovered that this so-called legend wasn't a myth at all. Sparta existed. How do I know? Well, I met the sons of Sparta. Both of them. Though the same blood of their father flowed through their veins, the two battled each other fiercely like arch enemies. It seemed as if they derived some sort of twisted pleasure from this brotherly fighting. But in the end, only one was left standing.
You'll never see me skip this, ever. Hey guys, it's me, Shadow. Today I'm going to discuss one of the best games that I have ever had the honor of playing. Again, Devil May Cry 3 Dante's Awakening. I've been waiting to play through and talk about this game for so long. This was my first Devil May Cry game, as I've mentioned in the first review, if you watched that. Honestly, it'll be really hard for me to not gush about this game, so I'll try my best to be on topic.
Whoa, you're doing the review for 3 already? Quite the invitation.
You showed up.
You sure know how to do a review. No clips, no story, and the only other editor just left.
My sincerest apologies, Keone. I was so eager to make it, I couldn't concentrate on preparations for the script.
Whatever. At any rate, it's been a whole 2 videos since we've done one together. How about another playthrough of RE5 with your bro? Or better yet, we play through this.
Jackpot.
Devil May Cry.
Okay, so Devil May Cry 3 is a prequel game released on the PlayStation 2 in the year 2005, created to redeem the series after a certain game came out. Devil May Cry 3 is a prequel to the entire series, being the introduction to Dante's cool
backstory.
This game introduced Virgil with him as one of the main antagonizing forces in the plot. The only time we saw him prior was only in Devil May Cry 1, when he was possessed by Mundus as Nello Angelo. It also introduces another mainstay member of the Devil May Cry business, Lady, whom we'll discuss in a bit. Devil May Cry 3 is considered one of the best in the series, with its gameplay, story, just everything is really great. But before I get into any of that, let's take a look at the story. Oh my gosh, Devil May Cry 3! We start the story with the intro that was narrated by our new leading lady, teasing that Dante might die. Unless you played the other two and know that he lives, but you know, it's fine. We now cut back to earlier that day at an unnamed shop. Dante comes out of the shower, then proceeds to get one hell of an invitation.
Sorry, man. We're not open yet.
Is your name Dante, the son of Sparta?
Who's asking? Are you a debt collector or something? Just tell the landlord I'm still thinking of a name for this place. How does Devils Don't Cry sound?
That's stupid. Anyways, I've merely come to deliver an invitation.
Okay. How about Devils Shouldn't Cry?
Still stupid. I believe you have a great interest.
Wait a minute. How about...
Stop! This is a matter that involves someone of great interest to you. Your brother.
Devils Wouldn't Cry.
Dante ends up fighting the demons both inside and outside his shop, which ends up wrecking the better half of the block. A tower sprouts from the ground in the middle of the city, and there atop stands a storm of the approaching variety. Virgil. Arkham is there too.
There is actually a prequel cutscene for the Virgil campaign. It shows how Virgil gets talked into helping Arkham, the mysterious dude mentioned earlier, and summoning a structure that opens the gates to hell. This is a structure that's known as the Temen Nigru, and is also where the majority of the story is structured around.
Virgil stares down at Dante from the Temen Nigru, and Dante moves forward. We see a mysterious lady on a bike. Dante makes his way stylishly downtown until he reaches the entrance of the tower where he faces the first boss of the game, Cerberus. Now, since I just came back from 1 and 2, I got fucking wrecked by Cerberus, but after some trial and error, I used Swordmaster. I honestly haven't played Devil May Cry 3 in forever, so playing it again kicked my ass. After defeating Cerberus, Cerberus' soul turns into one of the most iconic weapons in the series. Dante has his first encounter with the mysterious lady from earlier, and he styles on her right off the bat. Afterwards, Dante takes a stroll through the tower, meeting a couple of new enemies, including a weird demon centipede. He even meets Jester. His name is Jester, and I think that name is pretty stupid, so we'll call him Not Arkham. Not Arkham shows Dante how to operate and progress through the tower. It's not long after till he sees the clown again and wastes him.
Dante proceeds to the next level of the tower, and then runs into another boss demon, Agni and Rudra, gatekeeper demons that stop any of those who wants to go up the tower. And so Dante does what Dante does best. He wrecks their shit and gets another legendary pair of devil arms. The mystery woman, who as it turns out, is Arkham's daughter.
The resemblance is uncanny, really. Anyways, Arkham almost kills Lady by throwing her off a ledge until Dante manages to catch her by the leg. She saw a bug and shot Dante in the head. She saw another bug and shot him again. Dante thanks the lady and proceeds to climb higher up the tower. He grabs the key that opens the next door. It begins raining as he goes up the steps to the very top of the tower, and he finally meets up with his dear old brother. The two fight, but Virgil is the victor and Dante ends up losing. Virgil ends the fight by stabbing Dante with his own sword, then leaves with Arkham. Dante unlocks his inner power, then becomes slightly super yet not super Dante!
Dante shows off the new devil trigger power he's unlocked, and gets swallowed by a giant sky whale. He travels through the belly of the beast, and soon, he finds some strange ways of taking down the sky whale and eventually just gives the demon a heart attack. And then, he cuts his way out of the beast. Dante murders some spiders, and then meets a freaky electric bat succubus, whom of which he beats and then proceeds to become a guitar.
Justice for breaking the law, breaking the world, Physical tenderness for breaking the rules. Look forward to showing back to how it was. How slowing down because we'll leave our heads high. This race till we die, we're living by our own judgment.
Arkham is killed by Virgil for having a daughter. Then Dante and Lady find his corpse. Lady is angry and assumes Dante killed Arkham before she could, then lore drops. Dante takes off after Lady just gives up. And then he gets on the demon trolley that takes him to a chamber that holds the demon Beowulf. This guy knew Sparta at one point and wishes to kill Dante because of the relation. Dante kicks his ass and blinds Beowulf, making him run away like a little bitch. He retrieves the health drainer and not Arkham pops up to laugh at him.
We now enter the hurry back to where you came from mission.
He makes his way back on the demon trolley and eventually reaches the door where the health drainer is required, and fights not Arkham again. After beating not Arkham, Dante makes his way down some stairs and ends up at a bridge.
Why is it a medieval castle with a death bridge now?
Who knows? Now keep up.
Dante faces up against Gary, a mystical time-controlling horse and carriage that shoots heat-seeking demon missiles. Dante tells Gary to hold his horses, and the time horse immediately dies in return. Also, Dante can stop time now.
What? When'd you know to do that?
Meanwhile, Virgil reaches the sacrifice chamber. He looks around, and then our old blinded friend Beowulf appears. He smells the Sparta family swagger and starts talking about killing Virgil. Virgil did not take the disrespect and kills Beowulf. In return, Virgil gets a full set of Persona Paws, then disposes of Beowulf's corpse. Virgil now has both halves of the amulet and uses his blood to open the seal in order to open the portal to hell.
Too bad it doesn't do anything. He just kinda stands there and waits for something to happen.
Meanwhile,
Why isn't this working?
Is there something missing? Must more blood be shed?
you seem to be in a bad mood.
Dante finds and enters the seal room where Virgil has been seething for the last 20 minutes. Dante asks for a rematch, because last time didn't count. Virgil realizes that he needs both his and Dante's blood to open the gates, so he agrees to fight. But this time, things have changed. Dante's unlocked his DT, and Virgil has a new weapon.
They fight again for the second time, but neither brother even budges an inch. That is until Lady butts in and changes nothing actually.
The three are very tired from the battle, and then Not Arkham walks in, taking Lady's rocket launcher. The plot twist has revealed itself to be that Not Arkham and Arkham are one and the same.
Truth is, the game was rigatoni from the start, Luigi!
Arkham had been playing the three from the start. He needed Virgil and Dante's blood, their amulets, and Lady's priestess blood in order for the portal to the demon world to open. It's already too late, and everybody is too tired to even try and stop Arkham.
Arkham essentially won, and is absolutely delighted that he now has the chance to become a god by taking the power of Sparta.
The tower, now opening the gates of hell, shifts and transforms. The building shaking sends Virgil into the darkness, and almost the same to Lady, until Dante catches her. The Temini Gru begins to shift and change into its true form, allowing hell to enter the mortal realm.
Lady goes up ahead, telling Dante that this is her mess to fix. Then Dante contemplates a bit before finding Virgil's hand-me-downs that he also just so happened to drop.
Dante gets lost multiple times in this mission, but eventually finds his way through the Dark Tower until he finds the entrance of the Temini Group. He goes back up the tower with the motorcycle Lady came in with. Lady is climbing the tower the hard way. Dante comes up the tower completely unscathed and continues to traverse the tower further with the newly changed environments. Meanwhile, Arkham is feeling himself up at the top of the tower while he opens the demon portal.
Going back to Dante, we find him going down memory lane until he bumps into an exhausted and frustrated Lady. He tells her to back off so he can finish the job, but Lady is too stubborn to just let him finish off her father. Dante has a very reasonable solution in return. He thinks they should duke it out to see who should move forward. Lady accepts, and then immediately loses.
Dante promises Lady that he'll settle this whole mess because he does care, and it was because of Lady that he remembers why he should fight, and that this is a family matter that is also his responsibility too. Lady relates and lends Dante her RPG, the Kalina Ann. As this is happening, Arkham finds the Big MacGuffin Sword! Dante finally makes his way up to the upper parts of the tower and faces not Arkham? We fight not Arkham again, which is weird because Arkham went to hell, so how are we fighting not Arkham here? Is not Arkham like some kind of familiar? A demon that Arkham infused with? I could have sworn that it's just him. Who knows? Dante gets to the tippity top of the Temini Group, but before he can go to the demon world, he must face his greatest enemy, himself.
Dante goes to hell, and it's weird. It has a mirror distorted pearly look to it, and it doesn't exactly feel like hell, but it's definitely different. He faces off against many things. He goes up against an entire chessboard, a bunch of demons, and his final trial, a boss rush.
After completing the boss rush, Dante is led further into the distorted void, trying to find Arkham and stop him. Virgil is making his way up the tower too. Dante meets some weird trials in the deeper parts of hell, but he finally reaches the final boss room.
Before Dante had entered the room, Arkham had retrieved Sparta's sword, the Force Edge, and then used the power of Sparta.
Oh, so he can use Devil Trigger while using Force Edge, but I unlock the true power of Sparta and can't use the Devil Trigger freely? Okay then, I see how it is. Dante and Arkham face each other. At first you think, oh, this is going to be a challenge, because he's using Sparta's form. But as it turns out, he cannot control the power, and his body turned into a blob.
Dante tries to fight Arkham, but isn't doing so hot against his gelatinous form. Before Arkham could do anything to Dante, Virgil comes in with the save. The Sons of Sparta combine their powers and their skills in the final battle to put an end to Arkham's shit.
We'll let the scene speak for itself.
I'll try it your way for once. Remember what we used to say?
Jackpot.
Not very classy for someone's dying words.
After that little setback, they forgot Arkham had the Force Edge and amulets, then see them drop into another section of hell. The two chase after the sword and their amulets past the point of no return.
Good thing that family squabble is almost over. Oh hey look, another family squabble. Arkham faces his demise at the hands of his daughter.
Now, we reach the final precipice. Virgil and Dante fall down further into hell to grab the Force Edge. Virgil grabs the sword first. He needs the second half of the amulet to attain full power. But Dante will never give it up, so they must fight. Dante, the one who embraced his humanity, his father's ideals, and his heart.
Virgil, the one who embraced his demonic half, his father's strength, and his pride.
Both brothers, who are near identical in strength, fight in a ferocious battle, but ultimately, in the end, Dante wins.
The now weakened Virgil loses and must accept his defeat. He takes his half of the amulet and then drops into the pits of hell. But his final act is telling his brother to leave this place and to save himself, giving a final slash send-off. Dante, distraught and heartbroken, takes the Force Edge and leaves.
He makes his way back to the bottom of the tower in the mortal realm and returns the Kalina Ann to Lady. The two stand together and both come to an understanding with one another.
No late charges, I hope?
I'll think about it.
We should be fine for now. But I'm sure they'll be back soon. Very soon.
Are you crying?
It's only the rain.
The rain already stopped.
The devils never cry.
I see. Maybe somewhere out there, even a devil may cry when he loses a loved one. Don't you think?
Maybe.
By the way... looks like we're gonna be busy for a while.
Well, bring it on. I love this. This is what I live for! I'm absolutely crazy about it!
It's such a great story to come out of this series. I personally believe the rest of the games cannot top this.
Alright, that's enough about the story. Now, let's get on to some brass tacks. The gameplay. The combat is so good. After having played the okay combat of 1 and the mediocre combat of 2, 3 was so good to come back to. Everything is just so satisfying. This game is a true start of the evolution of the Devil May Cry combat. It took everything you loved about 1's gameplay while also taking some notes from the Devil May Cry 2's slight mishaps, then made this.
One quick note that we gotta make is about the refurbished style system in 3. It's actually a working system. In 1, it kinda felt like it was just there, while 2 made you feel like you really didn't get anything out of it. But 3 actually makes you feel like you're doing really good with all these combos. It really makes you want to look stylish and badass while you're at it.
Now to really start these topics off, let's first talk about the styles.
Devil May Cry.
Trickster!
AKA the bitch style.
Hey! Trickster is a movement-based style, and is the fastest style. I personally believe that this is the best style. Movement is a key part in both inputs for the moves and traversal. Trickster, at its full potential, is a way to rush your opponent, moving instantly like a goddamn Dragon Ball character, and to further explore and platform your way along all of the stages. This style helps you platform, find hidden blue orb fragments, and blaze through all of those traps that are meant to slow you down or kill you. This is the style that I clung to in my first go of the game, and I liked how you can control the playing field with just how fast you can move alone. Hell, this style was inspired from the parkour and the dodging mechanics from the previous 2 games. Wall running is pretty cool, and I wish there were more parts of the game where it was needed to actually travel, but you know what? It's still cool. This style is made to make all of your opponents in combat feel overwhelmed, and it helps you swiftly move from stage to stage. It's so great, I love it.
Swordmaster is the best style. God, I cannot tell you how much I love using this style. Okay, I got a little story to tell. Devil May Cry 3 was my first Devil May Cry game. When I started, I couldn't really tell you what my favorite style was. I was a very terrible player that used Trickster or Gunslinger. I managed to get through each mission with brute force. That is until I ran into the demon, Beowulf. As lame as it sounds, it took me days to take down Beowulf. His patterns and everything were just so hard for me to pin down, and I couldn't do much. I tried all the styles except for one, Swordmaster. I practiced with it, and the game finally clicked with me. I defeated Beowulf, I started getting and maintaining triple S's. At the time during high school, Rebellion and Beowulf were my go-tos, along with Swordmaster, ENI, and Spiral throughout most of the game. When I revisited the game, I fought hard not to use Swordmaster. Swordmaster just has the best moves, starting from level 1 all the way to level 3. It really is the epitome of the game's battle creativity. For every level there's always a cool move to complement every Devil Arm.
So, you were stuck on Beowulf for how long?
Oh, shut up!
Gunslinger is a style that I only use for the cool factor. This game doesn't really have the sauce in terms of how it can help with getting higher combo ranks. It's more so for combo enders or using those few skills to level the playing ground by keeping those demons away from you. Many of these moves are flashy with their visuals, but some weapons have their good use in them. Well, emphasis on some weapons. But we'll get to that soon.
Royal Guard is a diamond in the rough. One that requires skill and determination to actually get down because this style has a major drawback. It takes your health away unless you get a perfect block with it. At first when I used it, I was like, ugh, really? That doesn't sound worth it at all. How naive I was. It wasn't until I was getting background footage for this video that I was forced to use Royal Guard for the sake of the video that I realized I loved it. It's just another one of the gifts that Devil May Cry 3 keeps on giving. It's easily one of the more skill-based styles, since it requires timing, or else you will pay dearly for it. Leveling it up isn't that bad either, although level 3 isn't that worth it. It's just a satisfying style to use because of that sound you get when you have a perfect block. Then releasing all that energy into one enemy that vaporizes them is beautiful.
Quicksilver! It's basically a fun style to play around with. You get to pause time and bash some demons. It uses your Devil Trigger meter to activate. You can mess around with some enemies as they slowly move and stagger around. I guess functionally they help in getting out of a fray or when you're stuck in a corner. But it's just a fun one in my opinion. Also for all you JoJo fans who love Part 3, it is stupid fun to have the time pause ability and just go
Doppelganger! It's pretty good. Not too much to say about it. You have a clone of Dante that mimics your movements and actions. It does the same damage. It's a cool concept done well. The same mechanics are used for Mission 19 against Arkham when Virgil joins your party and he mimics your actions with his Yamato. It's pretty cool. You can definitely get creative with it, launch an enemy and keep him juggled with delayed movements from the clone, or just getting double the damage. It's not a hard style. Like Quicksilver, it's just fun. It uses Devil Trigger Gauge, and it's a trade-off of what you'd want to do with that bar, really.
I don't know. Darkslayer, I guess?
It's just Virgil's edgy iteration of Trickster, except you don't have the dashes or Skystar. You only have Air Trick, Trick Up, and Trick Down.
Not a very memorable style, to be honest. Okay, but let's talk about the Devil Arms. Devil May Cry had some okay weapons. Ifrit, Alistar, the Force Edge, and Sparta. While Devil May Cry 2 had...
Devil May Cry 3 though? Ugh, man, the Devil Arms are so good. The way it works is not like how 1 and 2 are, where you find the weapons lying around, but instead you get them after defeating the bosses. But before getting to the boss Devil Arms, let's look at the first Devil Arm you start with. The one that is what I'd call old reliable. The Rebellion. This sword was given to Dante by his father Sparta. It's a piece of his power. We've already seen what this sword can do back in Devil May Cry 2, but this time around, it's in its earliest form. Thanks to Virgil, its potential is unlocked after kebabbing his brother. Rebellion is really useful. You've got the basic sword combo you had back in Devil May Cry 1, Combo 2, and Helmbreaker. And once you start upgrading, you have your long-range options, Stinger and Drive.
No matter what style or situation, Rebellion is always a good go-to for starting or ending combos.
The first Devil Arm you actually get is from defeating Cerberus, and the Devil Arm is called Cerberus. The naming scheme is pretty simple. It's an ice nunchuck. What's the relation? Who gives a shit? It's cool!
Honestly, Cerberus is what I'd call man's best friend. Sure, it doesn't have the most moves, or even the most devastating power, but it is always good to have by your side. By the way, quick side note about the gameplay is how much impact you get from the weapons. Every attack has some kind of momentum or weight to it, which makes hitting enemies so satisfying. This is something that was really lacking in the previous entries.
Honestly, Cerberus might be my favorite Devil Arm after revisiting, even though the boss messed me up beyond belief. Now the next one, Agni and Rudra.
So, are these two brother demons? Friends? Lovers?
Not sure what they are, but these two are an awesome duo in life and death, being two dual-wielding swords that have the ability to control fire and winds.
Give me earth, water, and heart, and I got the Captain Planet experience.
This time around, I didn't use them as much as I did when I played this game every night back in high school. But when I did, it felt so good. The synergy between these two saddled with Rebellion feels so good. / Agni and Rudra, launch into Rebellion, aerial rave, and then Agni and Rudra sky attack is just Agni and Rudra have got some good options in the move list department.
Their moves are quick and rely a lot on the player's movement. I personally like the big spinny move.
You mean Twister? I don't know if I've ever actually hit anything with that.
Who gives a shit? It's cool!
Agni and Rudra is a top tier weapon, good for juggling enemies in the air and just stylish overall. Also you get air hike with it, so that's cool. Okay, now for one of my other favorites, Nevin.
You got this goddamn electrifying babe for a boss fight, and then after slaying her, she turns into a goddamn electric guitar that summons bats. If that ain't metal as hell, I don't know what is, man.
I'll be honest though, Nevin is really awesome, but that's only when you have Swordmaster style turned on and when you have Nevin at its full potential. It could absolutely shred your foes to pieces. When it's not on, it kinda just becomes okay.
As cool as it seems, I personally don't see myself using it. The moves felt pretty slow in terms of input, and I didn't really like having my double jump taken away. But hey, you get some sick-ass flying ability in DT that is really only useful in a secret mission. Next weapon! Oh, hell yeah! This weapon is probably the one that I rep the most in the game. Beowulf. After beating Virgil in the second bout, Dante finds the hand-me-downs from his older brother and
Holy fuck, is this wrong? But holy hell, is it erotic?
this devil arm packs a punch, and I mean that in the most literal way possible. It has the ability to infuse huge waves of light with each punch and kick, and it shows with every impact sound. One combo just makes you aura aura like a fucking JoJo stand, and it's awesome. Not to mention just how good it feels to knock some heads in the Swordmaster style with the added moves to the already meaty variety in this brutal weapon.
I mean, yeah, He basically said everything. Beowulf is just awesome. My favorite move is when the boss is in a weakened state and I get to use a real impact. So satisfying. Alright, I think that covers all our devil arms. Let's move on to...
Now hold on a sec. You're forgetting 3 more devil arms here, bro. Yamato, Force Edge, other Beowulf.
Oh, right. The Virgil campaign. Alright then, starting with the Yamato, this is a sword given to Virgil by his father, Sparta.
Think of it as Virgil's rebellion, but more precise and fitting for his personality.
You know, I never gave much thought to the meaning of the word Yamato. Let me look that up right now. What is the meaning of the word Yamato? Yamato. Great harmony, Japan, Taiwan.
What a fucking weeb.
Yamato is the everyman's weapon, just like the Rebellion. You got your launcher, your stinger, your combos, aerials, and...
the most badass samurai move ever, the Judgment Cut.
There's a reason why Virgil never let go of this sword, except that one time, but whatever. The Yamato is a mainstay in Virgil's arsenal, and I couldn't feel more badass using this beautiful blade. Next devil arm! The Force Edge.
You know how we mentioned that the Yamato was Virgil's rebellion? Well, this sword literally plays more like it.
It's got everything. Stinger, launcher, and helmbreaker. It sounds the same, but there's a pleasant twist. Virgil's Gigabrain realizes, wait, I got 2 swords! The basic combos of Force Edge combine itself with the Virgil's Yamato. The first combo is pretty basic, but the second is so fucking cool. It can auto-switch into the Yamato, allowing the combo to continue. The third combo leads into a stellar double sword strike combo, which is basically just like Agni and Rudra. The Force Edge can be charged up to be thrown like a boomerang at a demon.
It's just a cool weapon combination that makes Virgil's combos flow so well, and does some hellish damage.
Now for the final devil arm. Beowulf, Virgil edition. Beowulf is once again the meanest devil arm to use in the series. I didn't get a chance to say it before, but like I was saying about Cerberus, this game really makes you feel the impact it has with its weapons. But let me add on to that. It's the effects, you know, showing how much pow the weapon has. The sound effects that carry the weight of the weapon. Then the grunts of Dante or Virgil that tell you how much weight and pow the weapon has. Virgil, in my opinion, is more effective with the Beowulf than Dante, because like my buddy here said before,
Holy fuck!
Virgil's savage growls combined with the effects and that pow I was talking about makes this version of Beowulf seem so potent. The one thing that I like about Virgil is that he'd rather get something done quick than waste time showing off, but he somehow manages to do both. Beowulf is such a good example of this because you can see how precise Virgil is with Beowulf while also unleashing the latent power of the weapon. Precise, controlled, efficient. Perfect. While Dante's Beowulf glows a wild and explosive bright white, Virgil's Beowulf is a glowing start blue when he attacks with this devil arm. My favorite move is easily the forward spinning death kick.
He's got the spinny dude that goes up and forward.
Okay, that's enough of the devil arms. Now we can get to the guns. To start us off, we have the only good women in Dante's life, Ebony and Ivory. Twin hand cannons, custom M1911 style anti-demon combat pistols. They fire custom-made rounds far more powerful than any normal human can handle. Modified with pivot style triggers and custom sight systems. E&I has far more firepower than any human can be expected to have.
And the rounds.
45 caliber ACP.
Casings.
Pure demonic infused energy.
And the tips. Explosive or mercury.
Ebony is hollow point, and Ivory is armor piercing, of course.
It's perfection, Shadow.
These twin hand cannons were custom made by Dante's foster mother, Nell Goldstein.
Yeah, there she is!
E&I were specifically designed for Dante, and are basically indestructible. Designed with Dante's devil powers in mind, they're perfect for demon hunting and looking like a badass. In gameplay, they are insanely useful. You can keep combo streaks going with these two, either giving you time to think of your next combo string, or juggling enemies. It's even good for getting some of that chip damage into bosses. A good example is against Virgil when he's in a devil trigger. With E&I, you can stop him from healing, and with every shot, you have a chance to knock him out of his devil trigger. A cool gameplay feature is the faster you tap that fire button is the same amount of bullets you spill. A cool move you can do is jump onto an enemy to ride like a surfboard. If you have E&I, you can fire them while doing so. These girls are a series staple. No matter where Dante goes, these two are always at his hips for any situation, even if in some iterations they look kinda weird. Best guns in the series. Next gun is...
The Coyote A, a close-range, spread-fire shotgun that gets the job done. The shotgun has been featured in the last 3 games. 1 made it pretty OP with a glitch, 2 wasn't worth the upgrading, but 3 is made to be a great combo ender and a good way to keep the distance between you and the demons around you. This gun works pretty great with a gunslinger style and can wallop your enemies with charged shots. The move Point Blank is such a powerful move. Dante charges in with a stinger, shotgun in hand, and unleashes 3 consecutive charged shots. Damn, what a sick-ass attack.
While there isn't too much to say about it, the Coyote A does all the talk and the walk, as another mainstay weapon that Dante always has. There is a lovely phrase that I learned, and it's quite true.
Bitches love cannons.
Oh, fuck, that's an anti-tank rifle.
Oh, fuck, that's an anti-tank rifle!
The Spiral is a very big gun. This sucker has so much power behind it that it gets rid of a whole bar of health on most demons, and that was on hard mode. In terms of its creativity, there isn't a lot to do with it like E&I, or Clean AN, or the Coyote A. But man, in my personal opinion, I love this gun. I used it more than the shotgun and only replaced it when I had the Clean AN. It just has so much power behind it. This gun has impact in spades. The only example is when Dante fires it, he has to brace himself a little because this gun managed to make Dante slide back. All in all, not the most creative, but it's very destructive. Now, on to the next. Man, how do I start this? They can't all be winners, sadly. I'm talking about the Artemis. The gun you get if you complete the 3 trials in Mission 6. Okay, so, the first time I played, I tried it and thought, oh, cool, but after you really try it, you know, using it in Bloody Palace, it's not that great. Its full potential can be used with Gunslinger. The Artemis doesn't really do desirable damage. It's cool on paper, you can get something similar in the first game, but that sucks too because it uses Devil Gauge. It just fires lasers, and sure, the more you upgrade it, the more lasers you can fire, but it just isn't worth it when you can upgrade E&I or the shotgun. And then it's not too long after you get the Spiral. Artemis is just kind of a waste. I didn't have much fun with it essentially. I'm kind of glad it didn't make a return. Acid Rain is pretty cool to use in Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 though.
Oh boy, this weapon is by far, in terms of power, my favorite weapon in all of Devil May Cry. Kalina Ann is given after Lady's boss fight, and like how it is shown off, it functions how you think. It's a goddamn rocket launcher, and it's gonna shoot rockets. While the rate of fire is probably the slowest of all the accessible weapons, the main form of attack is not all that this hefty package has to offer. With the Gunslinger style, Dante has the move Hysteric, an attack where Dante activates a secondary launcher that unleashes a barrage of rockets after your targets, making it perfect for ending a stylish combo. Although, a major kickback of this rocket is that the main rounds explode after a pretty small distance. That's why this gun has a precaution that makes sure that you should never miss. The Kalina Ann has a third move that uses the harpoon at the end of the barrel to grapple to your opponent, making sure that the poor bastard in your way has a healthy helping of goddamn kaboom.
Next weapon is...
The Summon Swords, Virgil's substitute for the guns. While Virgil doesn't seem to have the arsenal to rival Dante's, he sure makes up for it in the projectile department with his own style of ranged attacks. Virgil uses these glowing swords made from his own demonic energy, and the best part? He can create a saw blade type shield around him that does both the offense and the defense for him. He can throw and summon these swords at will no matter what, whether being in the middle of damaged or trying to recover. The summon swords don't interfere with any of his animations and don't require a big wait time. The only kickback, however, is that the summon sword shield requires at least 2 bars of your devil trigger meter. But what's a few bars of DT when you can easily make up the lost meter with a good combo? These swords are never a letdown and are perfect for Virgil.
Devil Trigger in this game has changed phenomenally compared to how it worked on Devil May Cry 1 and 2. Not only is it like a Super Saiyan transformation that makes you stronger, but it functions with the bonus styles and has a cool little technique that surprisingly not many people know called Devil Trigger Explosion. This is used as an AoE attack by holding the DT button and releasing it to activate it. The more DT you have and the longer you hold will increase the damage of the explosion. It's a neat function and helps a lot with certain boss fights.
The items in this game are your run-of-the-mill health, revive, and DT restoration items that can be found in the shop or lying around in some spots on the stages. The items also bring your mission rank down when you use too many of them. However, there are permanent effect items that increase your DT meter and your health bar. The health bar items are blue orbs and fragments that are spread across every single stage and can be found as prizes in secret missions or in statues that require you to reach a certain style rank with specific weapons.
The stages are longer than the ones in the prior games and the art change is so much better in cinematic. It really puts you into the world with how drastically different each part of the Temini Grew is. From the old temple vibes you get at the start, to the medieval era that's in the middle section, to the distorted and weirdly off-putting zones at the top of the tower and in hell.
In my first time playing, I couldn't tell what would happen next. It just kept me on my toes and excited to see what kind of place I'd be in next.
One more cool thing about the stages are how connected each one is. Devil May Cry 1 kinda had an idea going, but in hindsight the layout of the castle is weird. Devil May Cry 2 made no sense. Every area was just village, caves, village, city, office, village. The layout in 2 was just jarring, but 3 really had a nice thing going, especially how you can visit old rooms even when you're on the next mission.
The bosses and enemies in this game are so fun and different from one another. The main grunts and pawns you mow down, while similar in design, all have different moves and gimmicks that make them all differ from one another. The bosses all carry a different vibe and tell different stories both in their intro and defeat cutscenes.
For example, Cerberus is basically the guard dog at the front of the door, but when you beat him, he realizes you're worthy to wield his power and he joins your side, like a good little puppy. And no boss fight stays the same. All of these guys have different tactics of dodging, blocking, and countering. All of these fights make sure to keep your attention while also keeping you invested in progressing.
There's a cool-ass Virgil mode that allows you to play as the man himself, Virgin. Honestly, there's no real game difference in terms of the maps or the plot. It's just more of a fun run through the game, but as Virgil. His style of fighting and weapons make the game feel a lot more new and gives more opportunity for different combos and a comfortable experience of the main campaign.
So, there are two options when playing as Virgil or Dante, gold or yellow mode. These are options in the special edition of 3. The special edition is practically the only iteration of 3 available, considering it's basically the definitive version. But what the hell is the difference between gold and yellow?
Well, in the OG version of DMC3, if you died anywhere in a mission of the main campaign with no available revives, you got sent back to the start of that mission. In Special Edition, they made a fix for the possibility of some players being aggravated and not wanting that hard restart when they sucked ass. That fix? Gold Mode! Gold Mode inserts checkpoints in all of the stages.
There's also a good variety of difficulties. When you start a new save, your options are normal and hard. If you died a ton of times, then the game will hit you with the biggest disrespect and offer you to switch to easy mode. If you manage to survive through normal or hard without dying too much, easy is offered to you as an option to stroll through the campaign again, as well as a very hard mode. And if you beat very hard mode, then you get Dante Must Die mode, which is the hardest game mode where all the enemies have a bigger health bar as well as a Devil Trigger, which is essentially just super armor and a purple aura.
Then, after beating DMD, you get one of my favorite difficulties to play through. Heaven or Hell, a very simple mode. All enemies take one hit, including you. There's also a fun mode if Virgil mode and those other difficulties weren't enough content.
Bloody Palace! It's a roguelike gauntlet, essentially where you take all the skills you learned from the story modes of Dante or Virgil, and you're trying to get to the top and become a real devil hunter. There are different variations of the floors for every 10 stages you complete that gradually get harder. And every 10 stages or so, you are forced to face a boss from the story mode, and if you lose, you start from the bottom all over again.
Okay, I think we got all that gameplay down. Now let's talk about these characters and their designs.
The characters are so iconic in this game. First, we gotta talk about Dante's design. Dante's outfit in 3 is so simple, but that's what really makes it work. It's one of his more recognizable outfits that is just so good to look at. Dante's post-game alternate costumes are pretty good as well. One of the first outfits you get is his shirtless outfit. Man, I don't know what it is, but Beowulf and his shirtless outfit go together like cheese and strawberry. So fire. Then you get his Devil May Cry 1 outfit from completing one of the difficulties, and it looks super good. For some reason, Devil May Cry 1 gets the most representation in most crossovers except for Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. And then you get a colorless version that kind of reminds me of Devil May Cry 2 Dante. Then you have his Sparta variation, which is cool to look at and helps imagine what kind of a man Sparta looked like, but I didn't really use it. There is also an unlockable Super Dante and Virgil outfit that gives you infinite DT and makes the game super easy. Dante, as a character, is so much more energetic this time around. His chill and cool guy personality clashes with the dark world and pretty angsty people around him. It's so fun when he's just not taking anyone seriously and cracking jokes.
Virgil is introduced in this game in his original look for the first time. His design is made to be the pure opposite of what Dante is supposed to be. Cold, calculated, elegant, blue! He differs in personality so much that it's so great to watch these two butt heads and clash with their different ways of thinking and their motives. He's got a coatless outfit similar to Dante, and damn! He looks so good with that vest. He has one other alternate costume, a corrupted Virgil themed Sparta outfit that turns into his Nello Angelo armor from DMC1. Lady is the best side character mainstay in the series, period. While for some reason most female side characters are so far written to just be sexy character that turns out to be a potential twist villain, that also turns into a damsel in distress, and soon enough, a devil hunting partner for Dante. Lady, on the other hand, takes some of those writing aspects and does it perfect. Starting with Lady's introduction, she despises demons. When she sees Dante, she shoots to kill. She has her goal to kill her bastard father, and the Sparta brothers just so happen to be involved. She isn't even chill with Dante until after her boss fight in Mission 16, near the end of the game. Her relationship and trust in Dante slowly builds as their journey goes on, and soon enough she learns that even a devil cries.
Arkham is the best villain. This man is dedicated to basically becoming Sparta and goes to the lengths of manipulating both sons of Sparta and his own daughter, and then succeeds. He was able to get Virgil to help unearth the Temini Gru and open the gates of hell, leading him to obtain the Force Edge. This man, even before the events of the game, is such a bastard, sacrificing his wife for demonic powers, which is how he becomes Jester. Of course, his body could not handle the Force Edge, and it led to his unstable form, and then his demise. Arkham was a smart villain who played his cards in the best way possible. The only reason he truly lost was because he was just a human and could never truly wield the power of Sparta. His design is menacing, yet dull, seemingly weak compared to how everyone else looks, but his Jester design shows his insanity, his ego, how truly cocky he is in himself, and ulterior motives. Every single one of these characters are so well written, from their backgrounds to their designs that write their life stories all over their faces.
And what about those songs, man?
Dude, the music changes so much in this game. So much variety. It feels like it's putting you on a journey. At one point, you'll feel an air of mystery. Then you'll feel like kicking ass! And then the game makes you feel. Then you fight a goddamn horse in a carriage that controls time. Then you'll feel uneasy as you travel through the bowels of hell. Then you feel like you're in a badass fight with your brother. This game knows how to control the mood with just music. I really love this game. I still love this game. I have so many fond memories of Devil May Cry 3. The game was just fun. The story and especially the characters were so damn interesting that I came back to this game a lot. Even now it still shocks me on how good it is. The music draws me back to it now and again. The battle themes are so good. I would switch them out for the ones in 5. So catchy. Makes me battle ready. I'm definitely a lot worse at the game now, but it's still super fun, and I would recommend the shit out of this game to anyone interested in a really good hack and slash. It's just a good game. Enough said.
Like the man said, it's a damn good game. This is personally what I consider the best game of the series. It's the only one out of the 6 that I have gone out of my way to 100%. I can always go back and have fun with this game and never get tired of how gripping the story, the characters, and the gameplay is. I cannot recommend this game more than I already do. It's an awesome experience of a game that I treasure dearly.
Well said, Kyo. Now, on to the final verdict. I'd give Devil May Cry 3 Dante's Awakening a...
Smoking sexy style!
Thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next video where Kyo and I tackle the next game in the series, Devil May Cry 4. Adios.